Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet. Matt from IPMNation.com. With me, as always, is Tim Martin working the board. If you need a DJ for your event, go to centralNHEvents.com. Read about Tim, learn about Tim, contact him, hire him for your event. He will do a phenomenal job. That's centralNHEvents.com. And with us this week are the guys from, two of the guys from Dooley Finch. Are there other members of the band, or is it just you guys?
There are. We met because we lived out in the middle of nowhere.
Right. You guys are the important ones, right?
Right.
Exactly. So that gentleman with the the deep voice, rather, is Scott Trottier. And with him is Snake. I don't know Snake's last name.
Miller.
Snake Miller?
Yep.
Oh, see, I was hoping you'd be like, no, man, it's just Snake. That would have been cooler.
That would have been cooler, you're right.
We'll edit it, so,
Perfect.
Maybe not, but we'll see. We'll think about it. So you guys are from Dooley Finch, and you did bring some tunes with you. Mm-hmm. So we'll come back and talk, but let's start out with some music. What do you guys want to play?
Well, you want to try Out of Our Minds first?
Yeah, Out of Our Minds.
We just recorded that over at Blue Sky Studios. Just the two of us, acoustic guitars and vocals.
Okay, cool. All right, so this is Out of Our Minds from Dooley Finch here on Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet.
Soft glow of your cigarette, it outlines your silhouette. You're still looking so beautiful, and you suggested we should dance, and I cannot resist your sweet advance, so I led you down to the ballroom floor. Now please, my hands on your hips, we swayed back and forth like listing ships. We both already know the ship's going down. There's 1,000 spinning stars from a disco ball falling on us. You got nothing left to say as you put your head to my chest. Got me spinning like a stock away with your sweet embrace and your sex appeal. You bury me down once again for sure. in time and dance the floor. But the song remains the same. Here comes the pain. There's 1,000 spinning stars from a disco ball, and rambles. I got so much to say, baby, but I won't waste my breath. This ain't gonna last, so you better hold on tight and just fall this moment. Let's be right out of our minds and just fall this moment. Oh, let's be right out of our minds. There's 1,000 spinning stars from a disco ball falling around us. I got so much to say, baby, but I won't waste my breath. And this ain't ever gonna last, so we better hold on tight and just fall this moment. Let's be right out of our minds. Just fall this moment. Let's be right out of our minds.
Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet. Matt from IPMNation.com, sitting here with Scott Trottier and Snake Miller from Dooley Finch. And how many guys are in the band other than, you guys are the important ones as we established, obviously.
It will be a 4-piece.
Oh, okay.
When our record's all done and we start playing in support of it. We spent the last year really just concentrating, the two of us, and getting these songs down. And I had a lot of songs to finish and eager to learn all the Snake songs too. And that's pretty much what we've done for the last year. We have played with a band, actually the guys from Snake's 3-piece band, the Helljacks. And,
Okay.
But just due to living in such different areas now, it really just worked out for Snake and I to do our thing. We have some Concord guys that are going to join up with us when we get back from Nashville when the album's all done.
So as far as the album itself, then, it's just the two of you on the disc, or do you have other people on certain tracks? Or
At this point, we don't really know what players we're going to have.
Okay.
We're slotted to go down to Nashville here in a couple of months, and there'll be some session guys on that. And then I guess we're going to have to kind of decide from there who's going to fill their shoes and things of that nature, you know.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got a real treat kind of call out of left field from Brian Harrison's camp down in Nashville at the rendering plant, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Something like that. And Brian's recorded everybody, a couple Bob Dylan albums, a Grammy Award-winning Lucinda album, and he's a
Okay.
friend of a friend, and he really liked our stuff, and has some great session guys. I think Marco Giovanno from Robert Plant's Band of Joy is going to be on there.
nice.
Yeah, so
That's what we're hearing anyway.
yeah, we're pretty amped up and hopeful for who we're going to get. So
Well, that's really cool. And Scott, you're from Concord, correct?
correct.
And Snake, where are you from?
I'm from Massachusetts.
Okay.
Yep.
But you've moved around, right? Because you
Yeah.
can kind of tell. You don't sound like you've been here your entire life.
Right,
so.
right. I lived in northern Kentucky for about 10 years, or Cincinnati area,
Yeah.
and then I think 10 years previous Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you moved around, Scott, or have you always been in the New Hampshire area?
I've been here most of my life. I took
Yeah.
off to California back in the 90s for a little while and
Did ya?
kind of bebopped around. But, yeah, I'm a Concord boy. So
Nice. Okay. So how did this project get started? How did you guys meet up and start doing this?
I live out like close to Washington, New Hampshire, and the house right next door, the farmhouse, was for rent, and Scott and his girlfriend moved in, and he had told me that he played music, and he'd heard that I had. We just kind of waved to each other for, I don't know, a month or two. Didn't do anything about it.
He stopped in and watched me rake for a while.
Yeah. And one day, him and Joe Nelson said, "Hey, we're playing over here. Come on over." And I went over, and we just started playing, and Scott sang "Time Traveler." Man, that's a great song.
It was a weird time. Like 2 weeks before I met Miller, I had written this "Time Traveler" song, which you can see and hear on YouTube.
Okay.
Just put in Dooley Finch "Time Traveler" and check it out if you want. But and we just clicked on that song, and the more we talked, the more we discovered how much we both enjoyed the similar music, and I gave him a copy of a movie called Heart-Worn Highways. That's got everybody from Larry
right.
John Wilson, Guy Clark, a 17-year-old, what's his face there? Steve Earle.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Towns Van Zandt, everybody. It's a really cool documentary.
Although there's one other little story, though, leaving out, was I moved back up here to kind of take care of my mom, who's got dementia now.
I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that one.
His dog came running over and was, chasing around her backyard. She came running out with a .38.
Yeah,
And
that's how I really met Scott.
Right.
It was a 4 foot tall little white haired old lady knocking on my door holding a .38. I don't even know how she was holding it up.
I took the bullets out, previous, and there were no bullets in
He
it. But
kind of
she didn't
charges
know.
past her and says, he just leans in and says, "Don't worry, man. I gave her paper clips. She thinks they're bullets. Everybody's safe. Just play along." That was really my real first introduction.
That was.
to my new neighbors.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right.
and he disarmed her immediately. He said, "Yeah, go ahead and shoot that dog,"
Yeah, I gave her permission. Yeah.
She kind of wandered back to the house, which is right next door. But I stayed, and within 15 minutes, he mentioned the Unknown Hinson, and like another 15 minutes, he mentioned Drive-By Truckers. I'm like, wow, that's cool. That's the stuff I really love, and I didn't even think that many people up here listen to that stuff.
Sure.
Never mind out in Washington, New Hampshire.
So then we ended up jamming down the line there, like I said. And
So you realize you had some similar influences, and
Right,
that
and
led to work together.
then Snake gave me a copy of independent CD he had done, Hillbilly Speedball, and it has not come out of my CD player.
No kidding.
It's in my top 5 of all time, and I'll say that whether I hated him or loved him.
Yeah.
It's a great album.
we'll see about that.
And it's been an awesome treat learning those songs and playing them with him and stuff, and learning about music. And, it's been cool. So we just jived right off the bat, and still do. It's fun.
So this was about a year ago?
last spring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We first started.
Like I said, we've
Yeah.
been hammering out songs, and then we started working with Mike Eaton over at Blue Sky in Concord, and he's been great. And then we got this call from Nashville out of the blue, and so we're going to go down there and do as much as we can, come back, and if we still have stuff to do up here, then we'll do that. And
Now, what's the story behind getting the call from Nashville? Because obviously that doesn't just happen. How'd that come about?
A friend of ours, Rodney, is close friends with Brian Harrison, who's, like Scott said, is also Shelby Lynn's bass player. And,
Okay.
I forgot about that.
and Rodney had got his stuff and my stuff into Brian's hands, and
I think they were roommates or something or other about 20 years ago down in Georgia.
Huh.
But just always maintained a friendship ever since then. And Rodney really enjoys our stuff, both our independent stuff, our Dooley Finch stuff. And then he just went out on a limb and sent it down to Brian and just said, "I don't know what I'm asking for, but is there anything you can do for these guys? I think it'd be great." And apparently Brian really liked all of it, and he's rolling up his sleeves.
like, come on down.
Yeah,
That's
he's gonna
really,
put us up
really
right in his
cool.
house and stuff,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we're pretty amped up. So
Yeah.
it'll be a good time.
Now, when you go, so what's the plan? You're gonna, because you've already recorded quite a bit of material, right?
Well, we did a whole bunch of the acoustic tracks. Just because that's been represented to what we've done so far. But for the album, we're going to do a band. And I have some fellas in Concord, Ben Bundy and Glenn Moyer, and a few other guys.
Joe Nelson.
And Joe Nelson. Just a bunch of musicians that are willing participants that, will get on board when we come back and want to, promote the album and what have you, and play in support of that. So,
Right.
yeah.
And how long are you going to Nashville for? Do you know? Do you know how long you're
I
going to
think
be
the
down
first is we're gonna go down there for about a week.
there? Yeah.
And it's like we'll just kind of see what happens. I mean, we're not going to get too ahead of the gun here and
Yeah, I guess we're going down with no expectations. That's
Right.
that's the safest
right.
bet.
You know, and
Are you guys nervous at all? Any butterflies? I mean,
I've never recorded in Nashville. To me, and Scott hasn't. It's going to be an incredible treat.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
so
Well, it's going to be cool for me because Snake made me read Waylon's biography a little while ago, so now I'll have
Really,
all sorts
yeah?
of points of reference to go check out and whatnot.
yeah.
Waylon Jennings for any youngins who are not sure.
Yeah, right. There are people that don't know.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, absolutely. No, that's very cool. How much material do you guys have at this point, do you think? How many songs have you written together? I mean, obviously, separately, you have a body
We
of work,
haven't
too,
really written together. His songs I've helped, you know, as far as writing guitar parts for and harmonies, but, you know, those are songs he wrote himself, and same with me, you know.
Okay.
Those are my songs that I've written. I think we tried co-writing a couple times, you know, which sounded good, but we haven't got back to that.
And we definitely got made fun of because it sounded like we were singing to each other. So we just
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
awkward.
Enough of that
but
formula.
Scott was singing to me. He just don't want to say that, you know.
Oh man.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, it's been cool though. I mean, playing with Snakes really changed a lot of my style, and just, you know, he turns me on to new stuff all the time, and I think I turn him
Vice
on to
versa,
new
yeah.
stuff too. And,
Yeah.
and, you know, so the stuff that I would cover now, you know, playing out in the bar or whatever, is far different than stuff I would have covered 5 years ago.
Sure.
And even the stuff I'm writing is far different than stuff I started out writing.
Really?
For sure.
Yeah.
I learned to the original Guster album.
No
That's how
kidding.
I learned to play guitar. Yeah.
Wow.
So, not that there's anything wrong with Guster. I still
No, I like
I
Guster.
still
Yeah,
I
like
like
him quite
Guster.
a bit,
Yeah.
but far different than the style I play now. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, let's play another track. What do you guys want to play from Dooley Finch?
Well, I guess we play the title track from the album, which is "The Rattler and the Scarecrow,"
Okay.
which is kind of a dedication to my father. Those were his 2 CB handles his whole life, driving
Oh, no
trucks.
kidding.
So yeah.
Okay.
So this song's about him, and yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so let's hear it. This is The Rattler and the Scarecrow from Dooley Finch here on Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet.
Life's born to the rest of folks. On my birth, no big cigars, no champagne toasts. And my daddy drank a gallon of moonshine every day. He'd go quick with a split cut switch, and in your bears mind what I say. Down to my mama folk on that 12 years. For Christmas 1962, I got a lifetime worth of tears. And on her headstone to no one did it occur to write 45 loving mother. She said a little Miller. So when I'm gone, let it be known that the words on my stone lead the rattler and the scarecrow. Tell them how the legend of the rattler and the scarecrow. When I turned 18, I thought I'd be all I could be. I found myself out in rural Kansas, stationed there in Fort Riley. I learned to drive the rig from my good old Uncle Sam. And later that same year, I married the devil's rider. '73, 25 brought me a couple sons. I looked just like the oldest, but I talked more with the younger one. In 89, I came face to face with fate, and I called it a lie. I grabbed the devil by the throat and said, you might have burned me, but I just put out that fire. I went on and married me a couple more wives, and I'd like to laugh in the face of the fool that said, lightning would strike twice. I've gone, so many to go. Let the words on my stone read the wrath around the scarecrow. Tell them all the legend of the wrath around the scarecrow. Let them words on my stone read the wrath around the scarecrow. Scarecrow.
The planet's local outbreak with IPMNation.com.
Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet. Matt from IPMNation.com here with Scott Trottier and Snake Miller from Dooley Finch. I do want to talk a little bit, guys, about your efforts outside of this project, because obviously you're both experienced musicians. And Snake, I know later we're going to play something from another project that you have. But Scott, can you tell us about, you also do a solo thing, right? Outside of this? Or?
I just do it like I said, with Snake still living out in Washington and me being in Concord now, it's a lot harder to get together. And when we do, we really try to spend that time, practicing and doing stuff. So I still like to play out, though. You got to keep your chops and,
yeah, absolutely.
and whatnot and keep your name out there and stuff. So, yeah, I'll play out here and there, Panucci's in Concord or wherever will have me, basically.
Right.
But, we do a lot with Go Local, and we got that coming up in June again. And actually, we did that as a whole band last year.
Did you?
We went under the Dooley Finch name, but it was the two other guys from the Hell Jacks and stuff. And
okay.
That was a lot of fun. So probably do something again this year.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know.
And have you played in some other bands too prior to this, or?
And over the years, I've tried to do some stuff with my brother and stuff.
Really? Yeah.
Two different musical interests.
Oh,
so
no kidding.
We tend to butt heads a little bit. But,
really?
Yeah, I've just always done my own thing, and that's why it was such a big deal when I met Snake. It was like, wow, this is somebody I really jive with, and that hadn't happened before. So
yeah.
So we just kind of ran with it.
Yeah, cool. And how long have you been doing this? I mean,
playing guitar.
Yeah. When did you start?
Let's see. I think I was 19, probably.
So I was going to say, you mentioned learning to the original.
Yeah,
Guster
the original.
album, so.
I went and saw Guster had opened up for Groove Child here in Concord at the Cap Center. I think that was 96.
Okay.
And it was shortly I'd bought their CD, and
So you started late. That's unusual.
Yeah,
To
I
start at
really,
19,
I think it
yeah.
just took a long time to find my niche, and
Did you play any other instruments prior to that? Or?
well, I played saxophone.
Oh, no kidding.
The
Okay.
city band and stuff in school and everything.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
yeah, never guitar. But it was actually the band Live did their Unplugged, and they played a Vic Chestnut song, Supernatural, and my buddy showed me how to play it, and I could just do it. It was an A minor, C, and G progression. I could just do it, and that's kind of what started it.
No
And-
kidding.
and
So
then-
it just came naturally.
Yeah, and then I got the Guster CD, and got all the tabs from that, and learned that, and Sublime was big back then. Their songs were pretty simple, and
Sure.
started with that kind of stuff, and yeah, it
So it just grew from there.
just grew from there. And then just over the years, my musical interests have changed, and
Right.
so my styles changed, and yeah, and of course with Miller and stuff, it's really kind of taken to the next level as far as learning stuff and knowing what I like to play and can play and can't play. So
You keep calling him Miller. Are you afraid of snakes?
a little bit.
Yeah, most people are. Now you had mentioned you had referenced a solo album that he had done, Snakes. So you've done some recording, obviously, prior to this.
Yeah. Well, I've done quite a bit of recording, but the band I got is called the Helljacks, and we're a 3-piece rock band with heavy country influences. We don't sing songs like about pickup trucks and tractors and stuff. At least I don't think we
Yeah,
do. But,
no horses or sheep or anything. Or...
No, but basically it's Mike Goyette on drums and Steve Barlow on bass and backup vocals and myself yelling and hollering and playing guitar, and we just play songs I write and we have a good time. We've played probably a half a dozen times.
Oh, okay.
And it's good stuff. I think it's songwriting wise, I guess it's rural hillbilly life. I mean, kind of like the hellbilly style of music.
Sure.
I love Hank 3 and I love Rob Zombie. Do we sound like either one? No, but that kind of imagery and just weird characters and stories and stuff. People
I
know.
call him hillbilly pop. I don't know if that's
Really,
insulting or not.
Yeah.
but there's no way to really categorize.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like this song here by the Helljacks, Jenny's Got a Trailer. We played that live. That's like our first song that we
Okay.
play, and it's not completely representative of what we sound like. Most of our stuff's a little bit more up tempo, I guess.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's probably right in the middle from the stuff we kind of do to the stuff that
Yeah.
the band does with the
Yeah.
Helljacks. And
Right.
Yeah, we actually played Jenny's Got a Trail the other night, just he and I, sitting at Snake's house. And
Yep.
yeah, it was cool. It's been a long time since I heard it just acoustic like that. It was cool.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
it's definitely cool being cool
And
tune
that-
to hear with the band.
Yeah, that's a true story too. I just changed the name, but that is, it's about a girl I knew in rural Ohio that lived in a trailer park, and she, on the side to make money, was selling some, things for people, and she wanted to move her trailer to this couple acres of land where she could grow it right there, or she had been growing it. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but that was her plan. But she couldn't afford the towing fee to get there, and it was.
Oh, no kidding.
So, but songs like that, things of that nature.
So how long has the Helljacks existed?
Probably similar amount of time. A little bit after me and Scott ended up kind of splitting ways there. So I stuck with the two guys that I've been playing with, and I enjoy it. We have every Helljack gig we have a monster movie giveaway contest. Actually,
That's unique.
it is.
And you'll never see that anywhere else.
No.
But a couple weeks ago we played, and this young lass got to walk home and with Jesse James meets Frankenstein's daughter. So, I'm sure that was like a real pinnacle of her life. But
You haven't given away the Attack of the Killer Shrews, have you?
yeah, I did.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, but
Now, what about your musical history prior to that? Because you'd kind of mentioned off air earlier that you've played with some names that our
I
listeners
have.
may recognize.
Yep, I don't know if anybody would know who Cub Coder is. I know there's a lot of people in New Hampshire and New England that would, because he lived up here for a while. He wrote and sang "Smoking in the Boys' Room" with Brownsville Station back in the '70s.
Oh, okay.
And it was a Billboard top 10 hit for a period of time there.
It was
and
not written by Motley Crue.
No.
but when I was playing with him, it was during that period of time when Motley Crue re-recorded it on Theater of Pain. And basically, him and his wife took me under their wing, and they put me in the band, and I was on the road for 5 or 6 years with Cub. You know, we basically played nightclubs and roadhouses, you know, around the country, but we also got to play, you know, big stages with Nugent and Charlie Daniels and stuff like that, and lots of bands of that time period, the 70s and stuff, that were still playing in the 80s. And I also played with Noah Hunt, who's Kenny Wayne Shepherd's lead singer. And when Kenny and Noah are not on the road, Noah has his own band called Noah Hunt and the 420 All-Stars.
Okay.
And, so we played quite a bit down in Cincinnati and Kentucky, in that area, when he was doing his music. And we'd just write guitar parts for his songs, and, you know, we'd go out play them. We'd have to play some Kenny stuff, too, of course.
Yeah.
And, you know, a bunch of other ones. I mean, Sleepy LaBeef, I don't know if people know who he is, but he's a rockabilly legend. He recorded the same time period as Elvis down at Sun Records with Sam Phillips, and he lived in New England. Actually, he lived with us off and on for like about 7 years. My ma ran Allen's Truck Stop in Amesbury, Mass., which was a diner, a honky-tonk truck stop, you know. Huh. And Sleepy's was up there playing. His bus had a fire. He was stranded, and he ended up staying with us. And he eventually got a big Winnebago and just parked it in the yard off and on for years. So, you know, he taught me a lot. I mean, he would, you know, show me like this swampy style of playing. You know, like I'm trying to think of like maybe something like Tony Joe White or Polk Salad Annie style swamp, you know, music. He's from Arkansas, I believe. He just moved back there a while. Well, he's been back there a while now. But
what was the book that you had me read?
Peter Grelnick. He's a pretty well-known rock and roll historian writer. He wrote a lot of books, but the book Lost Highway, there's a lot of stuff in there about Sleepy during the Allen's Truck Stop period. Yeah. Even my mother's in there.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah.
And that whole deal. So I grew up with country music around me all the time, and so. And
then you've moved around a bit. Have you always played? I mean, have you always had something going musically everywhere that you've lived?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I said, we moved out to Jackson, Michigan area with Cub. We relocated right away and stayed out there, and then, you know, toured from there. Eventually, my best friend, who was the drummer at that time, left the band. He moved to Cincinnati. Red McCormick, great drummer. And I followed him down there, and we had a band called Medicine Hat, a Second Sister. We did a bunch of bands. He became an incredible drummer by the time he was in his 90s. You know, he did pass away in 2000, but he's just an amazing drummer. He taught me a lot. He just had a great attitude, you know. And Cub, you know, was just a real badass rock and roll guy. I mean, it was just. But when I played with him, though, it was in the 80s. It wasn't the pinnacle of Cub's career by any means. He'd already been in Brownsville Station in the Points, who was Muggsy out of Detroit. He was real kick-ass hardcore rock band, and he eventually played some blues and stuff up here on the East Coast, and then we got this thing together where he was starting to write songs more for 80s style music. So that was the period I was with him. It was, you know, during that period of, you know, not a lot going on music wise, maybe, you know, it depends on how you look at it, but it was still a great experience.
Yeah.
And I still to this day learn, you know, things from what he instilled back then.
Yeah. No, very cool.
I probably learned more after we parted ways as years have gone on.
Sure.
And the stories are entertaining as all get out.
I bet, yeah.
There's some good stories for sure, yeah.
Yeah. You could probably write your own book. Have you thought about it?
No.
You'd have to learn how to spell first.
Yeah, that's a drawback immediately, yeah.
Oh, they have software where you just talk and it, writes it out for you.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
Well, why don't we play something from the Helljacks? I'm curious to hear something.
Yep. Yeah, Jenny's Got a Trailer. That's the one I brought. So.
All right, nice. Okay, so this is Jenny's Got a Trailer from the Helljacks here on Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet.
that bottle down it. Drink much more, well, you're bound to dream every little feeling that you ever said you felt for me. Every now and then you get this look on your face, like when I get wrong, is what took place to remind you I'm beside you as a little lies you told. It's gotta be forever, not now and then, yeah. So why don't you hold on tight for one more night? Try your best to ride this tide away. Not ecstasy. Your love's the only drug I could ever need. Now I'm so close to an overdose that I'm choking on, baby. So just let me out, just let me out. Oh, I love you just like the devil loves a sin. But I'm praying that you're staying even though you got nothing that I need. Gotta be forever, not now and then, never for me. So why don't you hold on tight for one more night? Try your best to ride this tide away. Malevolence, it's every bit of evidence I should need, but I just can't see 'cause it's so bright. It's like a spotlight, I've been blinded and I can barely see. So stop blaming me, stop claiming he, stop digging around for all of that sympathy. It's gotta be forever, not just now and then, never. So why don't you hold on tight for one more night? Just try your best to ride this child away. Why don't you hold on tight for one more night? Just try your best to ride this child away.
Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet. Matt from IPMNation.com here with Scott Trottier and Snake Miller of Dooley Finch, and also, of course, Snake has his other project, the Helljacks. And so, what do you guys have lined up? Let's kind of go back and recap. So, you're going to be going to Nashville, and when is that happening again?
We're originally scheduled for May 15th, but
Okay.
Brian has somebody else coming in.
Okay.
So I think we're going the week after that, right towards the end of May.
So do you have any idea when the disc is going to be done and out? Probably not at this point. Huh? Hard to put a date on it, I would think. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never dealt with somebody at that level. So
Right.
do they really take their time and give you something great, or do they give you something great right off the bat? You know, I don't know what to expect.
That's really cool, though. That's exciting. I'm happy for you guys. So, and do you have any shows coming up locally in the area in the meantime, or are you focusing on the album? Or?
I've just been focused on finishing a couple of songs, procrastinating, putting a couple of bridges in where they really need to be.
Sure,
and
sure.
whatnot. So really got to kind of buckle down and take advantage of this situation. And,
Absolutely.
Get everything done. That's where my focus lies, and that's where I've been at. So
Yeah. Snake, what about for the Helljacks? Anything coming up?
No, we just we played a couple weeks ago, and now everybody's kind of busy, and we haven't got anything going right now. So
Yeah. Well, that's good. You can focus on this, so that's really cool.
Yeah.
And where do we find you guys online for people who want to keep up on Dooley Finch? And
you can find either at Reverb Nation. I'm going to be launching a new website. I have my friend Sean McElroy working on that for me right now. So
okay.
And I'll be putting that up on Facebook and wherever else I can to let people know that it'll be up. But it'll just be probably dooleyfinch.com.
Great.
And,
do you have any timetable on that, or?
Within the next couple 2-3 weeks.
Okay, so by the time this airs, it'll be up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, excellent.
if anybody wants to check out the Helljacks, they can just Google the Helljacks, and it'll be MySpace or Reverb Nation or something will show up. So.
Okay. Oh, very cool. Very cool. So yeah, so you guys got some cool stuff cooking with the Nashville thing. So
yeah,
definitely encourage everyone to check out dooleyfinch.com to keep up on what you guys are doing in Facebook, and obviously you did mention Reverb Nation too. So which is a great resource for.
Yeah,
it really is.
So.
Well, Snake had turned me on to it.
Yeah.
And I haven't done much with it because, like I said, I haven't been playing in support of the music very much. But I'll definitely take advantage of their resource.
Oh, yeah, it's phenomenal. Well, thanks a lot, guys, for coming in. We'll wrap up with one more track in a second, but I do want to remind everyone, if you need a DJ, go to centralnhevents.com, hire Mr. Tim Martin, or you can just call him Tim Martin. You don't have to hire Mr. him to get him to DJ your event. You just have to pay him. That's all. But his rates are very reasonable, and he does a phenomenal job. And Scott Trottier and Snake Miller, thanks for coming in, guys. And
hey, thanks for having us, man. This is great.
Absolutely. And what do you want to wrap up the show with?
I guess we'll probably do Tidal Wave. It's the second song we ever played together.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Yeah, it's a cool little ditty.
All right. And we'll play that. Oh, and I do want to remind everyone, too, if you like what you heard tonight and you want to download this interview and keep it forever and ever you can, just go to ipmnation.com/local outbreak, where all our shows are archived. And here we go. This is Tidal Wave from Dooley Finch here on Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got a trailer over in the park. You never know she's home, it's always real dark. Over on the edge there's a trail all along. Used to be a meth lab, now they're up and gone. When Jenny gets some money, she's gone too. Got a little bit of land, just an acre or two. To get the trailer on the land where she plants her seed. Last couple nights she's been getting things done, but the nights are getting cold and the days losing the sun. $900 towing fee, get the trailer on the land where she plants her seed. but it don't really matter, don't make a good wage. An honest living, hell, it ain't the way to go. It keeps pushing you down deeper in the hole. A couple more days and she gets her toe. She'll be living on a land where no one goes. $900 towing fee. Get the trailer on the land where she plants her seed. Jenny's got a trailer over in the park. 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 Watch her go.
100.1 The Planet's local outbreak with IPMNation.com.
The Planet's local outbreak is recorded weekly at the studios of 100.1 The Planet. It's engineered by Tim Martin of CentralNHEvents.com. Matt Connerton of IPMNation.com is the host of The Planet's local outbreak. The show is produced and edited by Annie Biello of 100.1 The Planet. For artist links and details about The Planet's local outbreak, log on to The Planet's Entertain Me page, WPNHFM.com. The Planet's local outbreak is available for download anytime online, IPMNation.com/local outbreak. The Planet's local outbreak is a product of 100.1 The Planet and Northeast Communications.